correctly with the correct amount.
D20 Radio, where gamers roll.
www.d20radio.com.
Welcome to Me and Steve Talk RPGs, a podcast where me and my friend Steve...
We're playing games this time.
All right, so who can summarize what happened last session for us?
We did some stuff, then we got attacked by a shark, and it messed up our sled.
Yeah. And, I'm not getting that deposit back.
Well, you're missing a very key important piece of information, which was that Prang lied and stole someone's identity to rent the sled, and they had their pictures taken. So the sled is rented under a stolen identity.
Yep.
Sure, it'll be fine.
Because that's not going to come back to bite you in the ass.
It'll be fine. That's what we have Barnelby for, to talk us out of it.
Oh, boy.
It won't if you don't make it, Ben.
It's definitely worth trying to Barnelby talk your way out of it. All right. So you find yourselves having survived the traumatic landing and created sushi out of this flying predator of the sky. Your trailer, however, did not survive. Looking around, you are on one of the... I don't know a good way to describe this. So if someone has a better way of phrasing this, I'd love to hear it. But you guys are basically in an asteroid field of ruined buildings of the city that now floats above you. You look around and see much of kind of the old city that's now basically just in this kind of like floating group of different ruins and structures, and it's a pretty big field of this debris that you are now within. Unfortunately, you've lost your sense of location. So while you were given a rough location to search for the rune that you were told to go find so that you could get into the second tier, since that wasn't mentioned at all, it's a little unclear of where that is now in relation to yourselves.
Friggin' sharks.
Well, someone rolled really horribly, so...
I don't know who that was.
It was Steve, clearly.
Yeah, it was obviously me.
Other Steve.
Oh, the other Steve? Okay.
Yeah. But we blame the person that's not here today.
That works.
That's how... No matter if they're here or not, you know.
All right, so we need to get our bearings, basically. I'm going to take a look around, because I'm the scout, so that's what I'd be doing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to take a look around and see if I can get my bearings on where I am.
We didn't have anyone with us when we were traveling, right? It was just our group?
Yep.
I could have sworn there was somebody.
I mean, Arlene's with us, too.
Oh, yeah, the bat. Well, she's part of our team, though. That's yeah, no. But like, I thought that we had someone else with us, like as a guide or something. Or am I just going crazy?
You're crazy.
Yeah, probably. It's the island madness.
And suddenly we're telling Gilligan's Island.
Well, if you got the coconuts, you can do anything.
If you got the coconuts, you can do anything. I think I'll just check and see what's left of the skiff and see if there's anything salvageable on it that we can use. Maybe the crystal is okay. We can makeshift some kind of like wooden skiff out of it or something.
I was going to say, yeah, I could definitely be involved in, trying to figure out what's involved to get this thing at least semi-operational again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, how fallen apart is this poor thing?
Well, the shark took a bite out of the back, like, third of this thing.
Yeah.
So that's pretty torn up, and then it did crash. So Barney, I don't remember how tech savvy you are.
Oh, hardly.
All right, both of you Barney, you make a average mechanics check, and then Karlax, why don't you make a hard mechanics check? Because Barney's just trying to salvage, whereas Karlax is potentially trying to repair.
All right, and it was a mechanics check, right?
Yeah. And
Ooh.
Prang, how are you scouting? You just said you're looking around. Are you like going out and like actually doing cool? What do you find?
I find a.
Can I spend a light point for a boost?
You can spend a light side point to upgrade. A boost is a lot less than that.
Oh, I forgot the terminology. But yeah, are you guys okay if I do that? Because I'm only rolling 2 greens.
Sure.
I feel like your ability to scavenge is not high yield in this situation, but I would love for you to give me a dark side point.
I mean, because otherwise I would think that like if I'm doing scavenging, that like it feels a little bit more like skullduggery, where it's like just rummaging through, finding what works and what.
For that, sir. No.
No. Okay.
No, that is not skullduggery at all. Speaking of which, now anytime you're going to try to charm someone, you're going to have to roll brawn because you're basically trying to force something.
Okay.
So Eric,
I see.
on this section
if you're trying to charm them by like flexing, then yeah, maybe that would work.
I was just trying to see if skullduggery, because what is skullduggery really?
Sneaky.
Like, not even being facetious, I genuinely like
Being up to no good.
Being up to no good. Okay. Well, doesn't like scavenging parts off of things kind of?
It's more
I would see it as part of like a repair thing.
Yeah, it's more of a mechanical thing. Okay. Well,
if you were trying to take something off of somebody, that could be skullduggery.
Okay. Or take something off of a ship, or remove something without thought.
Pickpocketing.
Yeah.
No.
It's your general roguing skill.
Yes.
Okay. My roguing skill does not work with machines. I just wanted to clarify that. Thank you. I appreciate it. I was a bit confused, but I will roll. I'll roll the dice. Oh. I forgot to actually upgrade, so. All right.
Well, you didn't flip it either, so.
How do you flip it? Do you just click?
Yeah.
Oh, left click to flip, shift left click to add, control left click to remove. Okay, cool.
All right.
Well, I mean, my check succeeded anyway, so and I didn't upgrade it, so.
Yeah, so
you got distracted.
I'll use that light side point another time.
Yeah, so you are able to identify multiple different things to scavenge. Tell me 3 things that you're wanting to scavenge. Remember that you guys deliberately collected items that you wanted to have during this adventure, but you lost one thing already.
Oh yeah. I would say the supplies that are left, the crystal itself, the levitation
supplies
crystal.
Is really general, sir. So you need to be a little more specific.
I forgot everything that we brought with us.
Did anyone write it down?
We didn't. I specifically remember saying it as general adventuring stuff that Steve didn't necessarily, like rope and spikes. And I know we mentioned breathing masks, and you said those specifically got lost in the shark attack. But we actually did not strictly define it in session last time.
Okay, fair enough. No, you're right. The breathing mask. I forgot the breathing mask. So you name 3 things that haven't been lost. Let's do it that way.
Okay. The balloons, the levitate. Yeah, because recovery balloons because I remember I was playing the cellar, and that was one thing that I upsold, the balloons.
Yes.
And then the carrying cases for the balloons.
Okay.
To make sure that they didn't get damaged, but they're balloons for recovering items and making it float so you can drag it along the skiff without issue. Because we were sent here on a recovery mission, right?
Yes.
To see what tech we could find in the ruins for the rich.
You were sent to find a very specific.
That's
crystal.
what it was. Thank you. Yeah, and we didn't. It was a crystal, and we didn't know the size of it, so we decided to take balloons just in case.
Yeah, I think one of the things we could keep is spelunking gear.
Spelunking gear, yeah. Spelunking gear, balloons, and I think definitely the I would love for the levitation crystal to have still remained intact after that attack,
Okay.
or at least repairable in a sense. Which
The levitation crystal is still present in the wreckage.
that's agreeable. Are you guys
How
okay with those three?
functionally, we have yet to determine.
We'll see, but that's up to Karlax, not me. I'm just, my job is just to secure in the stuff, make sure it's there.
Perfect. You had one success, Karlax.
Net one success, yeah. Advantage and threat washed.
So I think that you are able to identify the parts you need to get this thing flying again. The parts are not here. You do not possess them, but you think that if you could identify the right things, you'd be able to get this thing functional.
Okay. So it's within the realm of if we found the right thing, I could make it work.
100%. It's not scrapped. You're definitely going to have to do some, creative improvisation and you're going to have to do Karlaxy stuff, but you could get this going again.
Well, to speak in terms of what you all normally do, would you like the good news or the bad news?
I think the bad news would be better suited for the first part and soothing with the good news.
Okay. So, yes, it's not going to fly away just as it is. But in terms of the good news, as you want to call it, if I can find a few bits and bobs, I should be able to make it work again.
Excellent. That's good news. It depends on what kind of bits and bobs you need, I'm sure.
Well, there's a couple of resonators and a couple of connector things. I quite possibly could improvise if I find the right bits, but it's one of those situations where I'll know what I can use if I see it.
That's good enough for me. I will keep my eyes out for any mysterious doodads or doohickory that you could possibly use.
Yes. So we have landed on this chunk of structure, so to speak. I mean, is it like a corner of a building, or is it just like a hunk of rock?
Sure. What would you? Well, actually, I was going to make Eric tell us what it was, but
I'm just more trying to establish what we have on the chunk of reality we are attached to.
This is a partially collapsed building that was a rather large, either governmental or religious building that has some pillars and the walls are kind of caved in on one side. And then on the other side, there's still some like a corner and then some partial walls on the far side of where we are. And there seems to be some structure underground where this is.
100%. And there is, they do have some basic tech here. Like this isn't just a rudimentary place. There's actually probably some tech that's a little more advanced than you're used to, but a lot of it is pretty beat up and not highly functioning.
Well, I suppose we better gather some gear and go look for things. By the way, anyone figured out where the hell we are yet?
So can I see if I can make a survival roll to figure out if we're near where we need to be or what direction we need to head from where we are because we got disoriented?
So if you're trying to more identify where you are, that's going to be more of the geography role. Survival is less where am I and more of can I come through this alive?
I was trying to basically navigate, get to where, find out if I can get to where we need to go to, is essentially get from point A to point B.
Yeah, the problem is you don't know where B is. So I agree we could make an argument for survival is getting from A to B, but you need to know where B is first.
All right. What's the then I'll make a geography roll. What's the difficulty on that?
I guess you kind of do this for a living, but you are under attack. We still would know. Let's say 1 red, 2 purple.
All right.
because
And
and let's give you a setback because this place is kind of constantly shifting. Like things are not like bouncing into each other aggressively, but it's not the most stable of environments either.
could I get a boost because I was in the front and could see things before me before the shark attack?
100%.
Okay. All right. That's a wash. Those are a wash. Net 1 success.
Yeah, so you definitely have the general direction you need to go, and you get the sense that it is down and a little further into the field. You're still a little bit on the periphery of kind of all this floating ruins, and so it is down and more towards the middle of this.
All right. Do I get a
Is it
sense
okay?
that
Are you guys okay if I keep saying asteroid field? I know like it's not an asteroid field, but like I don't know a term to use.
debris field?
Oh, debris field. Okay, that works too. This floating debris field. Thank you. And I'm sorry, Eric, you were saying something.
So are these independent like pieces of structure floating in this debris field? And we feel like the one that we landed on is the one that we need to be on, or do we need to get to a different debris,
No,
different
it's
one?
it's a different one. It's deeper, and some of these debris are larger than others. Some are just parts of buildings that are kind of floating. Some are just trash. Like there's this variety. It's basically old Barquat was kind of like sucked up into this debris field, and then new Barquat was built kind of sitting over it.
So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to go ahead on our lane and see if I can fly around and figure out which one of these we need to go to, and then we will best know how to get somebody to it.
So this is a big space. So you are separating yourself from the group, and there is dangers that you might be facing going further in.
Does somebody want to get dangerous with me? Let's get dangerous.
Groth
I'm just trying to figure out how we're going to get from one place to another if there's no connection to it.
will do it.
All right.
Adventure, my good sir, adventuring.
All right. So Groff is going to climb on the back of Arlene with me, and we're going to just take a swing around.
Cool. Give me like when you say swing around, like just your immediate area, or are you going further into the debris field?
Yeah, I'm going to try to see if we can get a sense, like kind of like a pattern almost, like kind of go out and then go out a little bit further, but I don't want to get too far because I don't want to leave them by themselves for too long. So
Got
just
it.
a little ways away from the current piece of debris that we're on.
Yeah. So you're gonna make me a writing or a perceptions check. I'll take either one. They are both gonna be hard with a setback because of how things are constantly moving. So as you start flying around, you do get a sense that the debris field, it's easy to kind of like move between these different detritus. However, some are more risky than others. Some seem to like lead into other areas. So it's almost like this floating maze that has interconnected properties. But go ahead and make your roll, and let's see how well you do.
All right, Groff, do you what do you have in perception?
3 green.
Oh, okay. Can I take a boost just from his assistance then, if he's kind of looking on the back? It's not
Sure.
skilled assistance; it's just regular assistance.
And Ben, actually, I was fine with you describing it as an asteroid belt because with like the large remains of buildings and the asteroid belt, it kind of threw me to thinking about like the scene in Empire Strikes Back where they're flying around the asteroid belt.
100% Hagan.
2 successes for me.
All right. So you are able to do a quick circuit, and you're really getting a sense of just how big a space this is. And as you start trying to go more towards the middle, the more dense the ruins got, but also the more hazards you start to become aware of. You start seeing that some of the dangers from the surface seem to have kind of climbed up into the lower parts of the debris field. You've seen signs of more predators in this area. You definitely see that the more preserved buildings, you still see signs of kind of more tech in those areas. So you do get a sense that there's clearly more valuable things the further down and into the middle you go, but the more dangerous a trip it's gonna be.
Okay, so we'll fly back to the rest of the group and kind of report our findings of there seems to be some places that are still intact and could potentially hold what we're looking for, but there are some challenges to get out there. So we have to just figure out where exactly it is because it seems to be a network, maze-like network that we can travel through. So we should probably head, and I pointed the direction that I saw kind of like an entrance to go under a little bit.
Uh, point of clarity, this is because you said the place you've landed on has like an underground component. You're pointing in towards that.
Yep.
Love it.
As with everything here, the better things are found lower.
Fair.
Well, I still think we should look here and see if there's any material I might be able to at least make this thing float again with.
Well, Karlax, we did see some old but interesting and functional tech lower that you might be able to find something down there, and I think you personally would find it extremely interesting down there.
Well, so can you find us a way back here, or is this going to drift off somewhere and then we don't know where anything is?
I can take notes of our location as we go.
Yeah, Karlax would have a sense that Prang is able to Prang was partially
Okay.
like navigator scout for the Comet's Tail. So
Okay.
Kind of what
No,
I do.
I just was referring more to, like, I guess, is this stuff swirling in a pattern, or is it just sort of random deflections off of things? Is more
less deflections and a little bit more like floating near each other. There is the potential with magic or explosions or a big enough ship that you might start creating internal collisions. But for the most part, this thing has been like this for a moderately long amount of time. So it's a relatively stable kind of floating debris field.
okay.
Some of the smaller things are probably kind of moving around and shifting and stuff, but like the bigger islands, I'm going to call them, are a little bit more stable.
Okay.
Shall we?
Well, I suppose it seems our best option.
Indeed, I agree.
I can take point then and be the guide.
Well,
I expect nothing less.
Cool. So, what are you guys doing for lights? It's dark.
I
can
know
chat.
we had mentioned having,
There was
glow
something about
rods
headlamps.
type things. I know I had mentioned that, whether that
Okay.
was
Yeah, so they'd be more like little runes that you're able to carry. They're almost like little lantern type things.
yeah,
Cool.
like
Okay.
I find it odd that cats don't have dark vision.
I mean, this game system doesn't really deal with dark vision as much. I'm not aware of any character, even like in Star Wars, there's not like because the other reason too is, if you're fighting in the dark, the worst you're gonna get is 4 setbacks.
Right.
So it's not like this giant horrible thing like it is in D&D. But yeah, I mean, I also don't mind just saying you can kind of see in the dark, or you're not seeing, you're using your whiskers and feeling your way through the dark. So you guys make your way into this old, almost kind of Colosseum type structure. You see signs of technology integrated into this building. There are really old signs as if there had been a battle fought here, and you do see what appear to be damage to the structure from explosions and magic, and there are some weapons and things kind of scattered about. What was this building originally used for in Old Barquat? Terry.
Shoot. I was spacing out a little bit. Could you repeat the question?
No
I'm so
problem.
sorry.
Steve, what was this building?
so I feel like maybe it was some sort of like airship receiving port. Like a
Hell yeah.
like the Starship Bay on Tatooine in Mandalorian.
Oh, yeah. 100%. 100%. So I think there are some signs of destroyed airships Unfortunately, most of them are damaged beyond repair or salvage. They're also, definitely old technology. So it is a little bit more open kind of structure, different tech that's kind of around receiving and repairing and possibly even rearming some kind of warships that are relatively forgotten at this time.
Okay, yeah, I was thinking like kind of what do you want to say, the airship equivalent of a truck depot.
Oh, yeah. So yeah, let's say it's that instead. So definitely there's a lot of like appear to be like kind of like crane-like structures, different things for moving freight. There's boxes kind of everywhere. A lot of them are, broken or smashed or rotting. So yeah, 100% love that.
Well, this does look like it could possibly have some of what we need rummaging around here. I'll have to go poke about, but, well, this would appear to be the kind of place that might have it. That was not actually my thought when I said that either.
No, that's fine. So you're able to poke around. You're able to find some like basic parts that you're able to set out, but you're not able to find some of the more crucial components that are really necessary for you to get the trailer up and going. But you definitely have some of the basic stuff. So Prang, you're kind of exploring out into this area, and you find there's almost like a wide ramp that seems to be going down. You get a sense that a lot of the freight that was being brought in, this is one of the places that it was taken and then kind of transported to and distributed to the city. So you have a sense that this kind of underground passage might lead you deeper into the debris city proper.
Okay. So I'm gonna, as the passage widens, I'm gonna kind of hold a hand up and kind of take a moment to really look around and see if I see any movement in the city,
Love
um,
it.
and make sure that it's safe before we strike out into it.
Yeah. So you're gonna be going down into like a tunnel that's kind of leading you and connecting you out to other areas. So go ahead and make me a perceptions roll. Let's see what you're able to notice around you.
All right. What's the difficulty?
Average.
Average. Let's see that's that. One success, two advantage.
Yeah, so you are able to kind of feel some airflows and kind of smell the wind a little bit, and you get a sense of the direction you want to move in. There are other paths that you could take, but they just don't feel like they're the right course. Unfortunately, you do get the sense that and it's, the hair on the back of your neck kind of prickles up a little bit. You do get the sense that there is some kind of threat down the path you do want to go.
Okay. I will store that for a second. Can I use those two advantage to have it be a piece that Karlax can use to repair the sled?
What? Like you just randomly find a piece that you need to repair the sled?
Yeah. It's like part of on the way, like it's something that Karlax is like, oh, I could use that.
Oh. Sure. It's kind of down the hallway a little bit. You're gonna have to like go to it, and it is kind of integrated into what looks like an old freight sled that's crashed against the wall. So some things are gonna have to be done to extract it. But yeah, you see what looks like the most promising salvage you've seen thus far.
All right. Yeah. It can be just like one, it's only two advantage. So like one small piece. It's not everything that we need, but it's something that he could use as a component.
100%.
All right. So I'm going to go back and say, I know the way we need to go, but there's something down there. I don't know what it is. If it's a being of some type or if there's some kind of trap down there. I did, Karlax, find something interesting. You might be interested, might want to take a look at. And I'll kind of go out ahead a little bit, keep my eye on the thing that's down the hall, whatever it is, and kind of show him, do you see this sled here that's crashed? You might be able to find some parts in there to repair ours.
Well, now, that's certainly promising. So I will sort of rummage around and see what I can find in terms of stuff we need.
Yeah. So I am going to need you to make okay. So you're gonna make a mechanics check. I am gonna be throwing setback dice on because you're having to do it to try to not to attract attention
Mhm.
of this predator that Prang is keeping an eye on. So
Okay.
they're based off your mechanics check, we're gonna both be generating what you're salvaging, but also how much attention you're grabbing. And there's gonna probably be a Groth stealth check depending on like what is rolled.
Okay.
So it's only going to be an average mechanics check, but I'm going to be giving you 3 setbacks because you're working under pressure. The lighting situation's not ideal because you can't like really light it up to be able to see what you're doing. And there's this predator kind of like in this area, and you're having to do this stealthily.
I have my bow drawn, just so you know, and kind of pointed down that end of the hallway.
Okay. So I can't argue for runic tech as opposed to mechanics.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. Well, then I get to drop 2 setbacks because I have a knack for it.
Well, that bit me in the ass.
Hey, I still keep 1.
Did I say 3? I meant 5. No, I'm joking.
All right. Well, okay. So
I
that
like that setup you did, Steve. That was good.
that. So
Steve, you need more RAM.
now net 2 advantage.
All right. I will let you choose, Steve. I'm flipping a dark side point. You can get the thing you want, but are going to be ambushed, or you're breaking the thing, but the thing that's going to be attacking you is you're going to be able to prepare for it.
Mm.
It's a pretty good thing.
Yeah. So I don't want to speak for everybody, but I feel like this is a situation
You get to.
Karlax would be very happy to just dive into this pile of stuff headlong and
Love
come up
it.
holding the thing right before something comes flying
Love
off the
it.
side and lands on him.
Hey guys, I got it. Yeah, so you are able to salvage a runic crystal housing unit and pathways. Like this was one of the hard things that you were going to have to replace on the sled because the shark bit through it. And this, even if you have the perfect crystal, if you don't have this, you can't integrate the crystal effectively into the mechanics of the sled. So you now have this capacity to do so.
Okay.
But you hear a sound from the darkness of the roof above you when suddenly things start dropping down onto your group. And we are going into combat.
Woo!
I assume this is vigilance, right? Or cool.
Technically it's vigilance, but you did say you were like on guard. So if you have like a really good argument, you could potentially.
Well, I'm going to roll both of them simultaneously.
I guess it's cool. I'm not the one. I'm the one looking out. So
Well, it's the same
vigilance
pool
would
for
be
me
better,
either
but
way.
cool is not good.
Oh, then you're vigilance.
Okay.
Technically, you are not You are not the one ambushing. You are being ambushed. So vigilance is technically the role you should be making. But I was going to let you like argue.
No, vigilance is better for me.
I mean, if we're able to argue between using
No.
cool and vigilance, can that...
No, I said he was.
Oh, dang.
Terry,
Terry,
you are doing urgent bathroom runs, not paying attention, and you are arguing for shit that's not in the rules, bro. What is going on with you tonight?
He wants to roll his charisma for his initiative.
Hey, I linked in out of game chat the definition of skullduggery for you, buddy.
Oh, no, I already saw that. I appreciate it.
Heard. So you failed your vigilance roll?
Yeah.
Vigilance doesn't get difficulty.
Oh.
Not for initiative.
Oh, goodness. Okay.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah, unopposed check. I was going to say it's impressive that you failed your initiative check.
So
I
just straight whatever the dice.
Yep. Advantage don't typically matter, or except for like tiebreaker type stuff, kinda.
Oh, I was just rolling my vigilance, and I didn't realize that I couldn't remove the automatically applied purple dice.
I got
what's cool tied to? Cool is tied to wisdom.
Cool's tied to presence.
That one never made sense to me, but okay.
Figured it would be willpower, if anything.
All right. I only have 2 PC numbers where Where's other people's?
I was net 1 advantage.
I was 1 triumph, 2 successes.
Whoa.
So I got a free movement.
Oh, I'll let you define something about the environment around you if you want.
There is a balcony of something that I could scamper up to.
Okay. Sure.
Basically a sniper's nest, essentially.
Yeah. In the dark.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, you can see so much from up there.
I can, because I'm a cat.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, spoiler, they're going first. So one of these creatures is going to drop down and basically like latch on to the top of Karlax. So Karlax, what's your brawl?
My brawl is 2 yellows and a green.
I made a mistake. I'm not going to do an opposed check now. Damn. Okay.
He's punchy.
All right. Didn't expect that one.
Oh, nerdy science guy can fight you in the face.
Like, what is going on here? So we're going to be doing an opposed brawl check because it's trying to grapple you and pull you up off the ground. So you said 2 yellow and a green?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, that's a thing. Oh, that's really bad for you. It's too bad you don't have Foundry open so you can see how bad this is for you.
Okay.
It's a net 2 success. So the octopus comes down and grabs, and it's an octopus, spoiler. And these 3 tentacles like lip out and wrap around you and start lifting you up off the ground. And you are taking 7 damage. Oh, I wish I'd rolled successes. All right.
No, you don't.
What?
Because I am unconscious. Or wait, no, I'm not unconscious. Never mind. I forgot about soak.
Wait, how much damage do you have on you?
7. I'm assuming that's from. I don't remember when that's from.
I don't know when that's from either. You also had healing potions and a guy who can cast magic healing spells on you. So
actually, I think it was from the fight we had in the city. So yeah, that would have probably come back by this point.
Yeah, you would be healed by
in
now.
the alley. Okay.
Hey guys, my arm is falling off. I should have mentioned this before we started combat, but
well, I was at half. I hadn't remembered either. So.
Awesome, love it.
So okay. So 4 wounds.
Yes, minus your soak. I think the other one is gonna drop on or try to drop onto Terry. What is your brawl? Say something really low for me.
My brawl?
Yes.
So 4 greens.
Your brawn is 4?
Oh no, my brawl. I thought you said my brawl, the combat skill. I was like, why are you asking for my brawl?
Yes. Brawl is based off of brawn.
Not in my case because of my talent. Because of
what? Oh, you kidding me? I was trying to go for you because I thought you'd be scrawny and I'd be able to do this.
No, I replaced my brawl and my ranged are now being covered by cunning because of precision.
I hate you
when
guys.
When making
so
a brawl or range
now.
check, your character may use cunning instead of brawn and agility.
Well, first off, thank you for knowing your character sheet. Second off, I hate you for knowing your character sheet. All right. Well,
thank you for using Forge because it really helps making sure I know my character sheet.
Well, this the second octopi is going to drop on you and try to grab you and lift you up also.
So,
but
what?
No.
Failed with a triumph?
Failed with a triumph? What is that going to look like?
Oh, no. That's going to look like... So this octopus that has 3 legs kind of reaching up into the dark of the ceiling has dropped down on you, and 3 tentacles that have almost kind of like spikes on them and look like they're meant for hunting, lash out, wrapping around you. They're not able to do damage. You're able to kind of maneuver yourself in such ways that you're avoiding hitting any of these barbs, but it does grab you and you are ensnared, meaning that you are immobilized or you're not able to move or take a maneuver.
Yeah, that sounds fair. That I jumped out of the way, but it still caught my ankle and it's lifted me in the air, and it's wrapped around me now.
So it's kind of like pulled you up off the ground, but it's not done damage to you.
Yeah.
So immobilized. An immobilized character cannot perform maneuvers, including maneuvers purchased via strain or by spending a advantage. Most effects that immobilize a character last for a set duration. In this case, it's 2 turns.
Mm-hmm.
If a set duration is not blah blah blah. If a character is immobilized multiple times, they stack. And basically, you can try to make a opposed brawl check to fight your way out of this, or you tend to be creative. If you come up with a cool idea that makes sense that your character would be getting out from this octopi, I would also allow it. So basically, you're just not able to move.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think because I did roll a triumph that I'm not getting to do anything fun with otherwise, it has started to lift you up like into the darkness of the ceiling.
Oh, joy.
All right. It is now the PC turns. Who wants to go first?
Do you want to try to let yourself out of there, Barney?
Yeah, I think I will. If I wanted to pull something, be a bit tricksy and pull something out of my pocket, would that be a maneuver?
Technically.
Okay, then.
Yes.
And I can't do those. Okay.
But you could use it as your action.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if that's getting around the rules to say.
Is that. Because oh, gosh. Where is Trixie on the. I have to grab my original
you
sheet.
are entwined in a hug from this octopus.
I can't really move my arms.
I mean, you got a bunch of light side points here, man. I'm just gonna put that one out there.
Yeah.
How loose do your clothes fit?
I'd say
we don't need a buck naked Barney running around.
I'd say tight enough not to be wiggled out of like that.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
We're learning something new about praying every day. What are you trying to pull out of your pocket?
You know what? I will pull out a small. I was thinking about maybe a small knife.
Don't you have weapons?
Oh, I have a bow, and I have like a cestus, which it's basically like a leather like boxing glove with metal spikes on it.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah, it's like a hard leather like boxing glove kind of thing, but not really. More of a
because you
wrap.
get to make brawl checks with it.
Yeah, and also I figured it might be handy to have something I can, close range with. But
yeah, if you want to pull a knife out, you're more than welcome to.
You need pocket sand,
right? Well, I don't know if pocket sand's going to help against a giant squid or spiky octopus thing. Yeah, just pull out a small dagger and stab it into the octopus's tendrils, trying to like maneuver in a way that just any kind of stabbing that can make it want to let go of me.
Yeah. So you're gonna make a melee check. It is gonna be 2 purple, but you are entwined, so I am gonna give you 2 setback.
Okay. And precision doesn't cover. Wait, No, it's only brawl. It's only brawl in range, so that doesn't cover.
That's why I was a little unsure why you were trying to pull a dagger out.
Yeah, I did it. So, what was the check? What am I checking against? 2 purple or 3?
2
and red.
Melee checks are always 2 purple.
Okay.
As a base, and then things can upgrade or change it. And then because you're currently pretty wrapped up there, you're gonna take 2 setback dice because it's hard to like.
Okay.
You got the dagger out, but it's not easy to like stab something when it's wrapped around you.
Well, that's expected. I failed that roll.
Yeah, so you actually have a threat. So I think, and you're squirming to try to get this dagger to stab into it. The tentacles wrap tighter, so you're going to take a strain from your efforts.
Okay. There we go.
All right, who's next?
I can go if you want and try to shoot the octopus that's dragging him up to the top.
There you go.
I'd like that.
What range? Well, I'm going to use a maneuver and scurry up to that balcony so I can try to get closer as he's being pulled up.
So that'd be short range then.
Okay, I'm going to take my free maneuver to aim.
Okay.
And what's aim? 2 boost dice? A boost dice?
1 boost die.
1 a boosty die.
Mm-hmm. And you're gonna have 2 setback because this thing is blending into the dark pretty well.
All right. So short range is 2. Here we go. Let's see. What do I got? That cancels. There's that. That cancels. Holy crap. 1 success, 6 advantage.
Whoa. Okay.
So that can trigger crit twice.
You only can crit once in a hit.
Yeah, I know. So I'll crit with 3 of the advantage.
Okay.
And then the other 3 advantages that he drops Barney.
Ooh. Yeah. Can you
All right.
can you tell me what your damage was? I'm sorry.
So it's 7. I just had 1 success, so it's just straight 7 damage, no additional.
Okay. No, the base of the bow is 7.
Base is 7. Yep.
So you always add your success onto it, so it's actually doing 8 damage.
Oh, okay. I keep forgetting that I always count the first success as like the success to hit.
Yeah, no. So they did clarify that it is the base plus the successes.
Okay, so 8, and then I'll roll a D100 in Foundry.
There should actually be. I have a critical damage table.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, don't know how to.
There we go.
Can you see it?
Yep.
Okay. Can you roll it?
I'm trying.
I didn't know if you could or not. This Foundry and its like ownership rules. Holy shit!
93
Holy crap!
at the
At
brink.
the brink. Okay. Okay. 2 strain each time they perform an action. Well,
Take it.
shit.
It was very, very well timed and aimed arrow.
All right. All right. All right. Cool. 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 Really happy about this. Awesome. Awesome. All right. Who wants to go next?
Well, so have I been pulled up off the floor yet? Or am I like, I'm just been kind of thwappled?
Thrappled. You were denser than you looked. It had trouble grappling you up off the ground.
All right.
You're my density.
So I think I would like to just sort of grab at the tentacles and attempt to pull/slam the thing onto the rubble next to me. Like, so to speak.
Yeah. Okay. So that is a brawl check.
Okay.
And it's gonna be an opposed check.
Okay.
So you guys have the exact same brawl. But you have a maneuver, so take a boost die.
Okay.
But unfortunately, it does have melee defense, which applies to brawl. So it is going to have a setback die.
Okay. So it's a perfectly balanced pool.
It is an incredibly balanced pool. I would point out that you do have several light side tokens.
Well, okay.
Ben just wants more dark side.
Yeah, I already had let go of the dice, so okay. Cancels
Yeah,
that.
but I didn't know that.
So net, I have an advantage and a triumph, but no success.
Ooh, okay.
So I'm gonna say with the advantage, but not a success. I don't manage to pull it down.
So you don't manage to do damage to it,
Okay.
since you weren't successful in your brawl check, but you have a lot of leeway around what's happening otherwise.
So okay. How about I don't do damage, but I actually pull the rubble that it's hanging to loose, and the whole thing comes crashing down and tumbles out of range of me.
So you kind of like yank and throw it?
Kind of. Like more like I yank it comes down and it tumbles away.
100%. So you see this like I put a picture in the game chatter, and you see this like octopi looking like creature, 4 of these kind of longer, more muscular looking tentacles that were anchoring it to the ceiling, have kind of like curled up underneath of it. It's almost kind of like propping itself up a little bit on them. And then it's got 3 tentacles that are the dangerous weapon looking ones that are kind of like moving around it, looking like it's ready to lash out. But you can tell it's very uncomfortable being on the ground below its prey instead of hanging up and dropping down on them.
Okay. Yeah, so maybe maybe we spend the advantage. I don't know if this is maybe a little much, but again, throwing it kind of together with the triumph, that it's like partially pinned and has a setback or something
Ooh,
underneath the
100%.
chunk of
Yeah, yeah,
rebels.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. 100% it does. Cool. Alrighty. Awesome. So we see Karlax reach up to this thing that's like wrapped around him, manages to grab it at the base of two tentacles and like yanks it down, tearing a bunch of debris with it. And since it's trapped and stuck to it, it kind of tumbles away from you and rears up with two of its climbing tentacles underneath this rock that it was attached to. So it's anchored in this one spot, trapped and obviously enraged. All right. Groth. What are we doing?
I think Groth is going to beseech the elements again, and the little clouds kind of gather near, and eyes glow, and shoot it with a lightning bolt.
Awesome. Okay, so we are building an attack spell.
Damage is 3 plus whatever the roll is.
Because it's base cunning.
Yep, I've got 3 yellow dice for that.
Cool. Awesome. I love that. So your base difficulty is easy, so 2 purple. No, that's average. 1 purple is your base. Are you adding anything to this roll? Can you see in a journal there's a spell section and you can click on attack spells and it has all the data for attack spells?
Let me go.
Here, I just clicked. So I just tried to show it to everyone. Did you see anything?
Yes. See attack spells journal.
Yep, I see it.
Nice. Does the one person who needs to see it see it?
I pulled up attack spells myself.
Oh, okay.
I just got into that as you were saying it. So
No, it's fine. So, if you think of this as like a Boolean based, we now can kind of decide what mechanics your spell has by making it more difficult. You do not, and I want to be very clear, you do not have to add anything to this spell. And if anything, at your level, that might be a good idea. However, I hear you describing it narratively as being lightning. There's technically a lightning mechanic. And I want to be clear, I'm calling it mechanic very deliberately because you could say this is basically creating like a Gatling type effect. So this could be like an Avatar where they dump the coal into that like hurricane thing and he like shoots out a bunch of coal. That's technically the mechanic of lightning added to a spell. And the same thing, fire is just damage over time. And then ice is just ensnaring. So you can narratively describe these things differently with those added on mechanical components.
Looking at all these, I definitely want to start putting points into my knowledge lore because it's a class skill, but I don't have anything in it yet. So
Yes.
a lot of these are factored off of that.
Yes.
Technically, isn't it in close combat? It's an engaged.
It's not engaged with you. It's engaged. Well, which one are you going after? I guess either one is at short range, so you can attack either one.
Well, I was thinking the one that we'd already knocked down. We're starting to take one out. Let's go ahead and focus it down.
So that would have been the one hit by the arrows that isn't knocked down. That's still hanging from the ceiling. The one that's now like trapped with a rock hasn't been damaged at all, but is in essence ensnared.
Okay. And everything keys off the knowledge lore almost. I could do empowered. Tech deals twice the characteristic length instead of equal. So that would make it 6 plus whatever the roll was.
Okay. Deals damage equal to twice the characteristic length. Yeah, correct.
So it'd be 3 yellow and 3 purples.
Correct. You haven't used your maneuver, so you can use that to kind of focus on your spell. And then I don't think you have any implements or anything that help you with your casting. I can't remember if we gave you anything or not. I thought we did something with your axe, but I don't remember. So
we talked about the possibility of using the axe as a focus.
Got it. So then we didn't go into detail. So I'm gonna let you take a second boost die because that's my bad for not building that out with you. But technically, spellcasters can have focus that basically add things to the spell for free. So now the thing I want you to be aware of, and this doesn't imply to empower, but these other things are technically qualities. And so any quality has to be triggered by 2 advantages.
2 points of advantage. Yep.
Exactly.
Like the crits in Star Wars.
Exactly. Or for instance, these octopi, they have the quality of ensnare. And the first one didn't generate any advantages, so it couldn't ensnare Karlax, but I rolled a triumph on the second one, so I was able to ensnare with that. Or auto fire is another common quality that's on guns. Or grenades technically have blast on them, so you can still do damage to a person with a grenade, but to trigger the blast, you need the 2 advantages. So a lot of people build these complex spells, but then they don't get enough advantages to trigger a lot of the additional components. So Empower, however, doesn't need to be triggered. So
Okay, so if we do that, then the pool is 3 yellow, 3 purple, 2 blue.
yes.
All right, let's.
Ooh. Ooh. So your spell fails to strike the octopus for damage, but it does
3 advantage.
That's where you get to flavor it.
Huh, okay. That's a lot of advantage.
yes.
It doesn't do damage, but it dislodges some stone from the ceiling, and it has to dodge out of the way of that. And as it does, it crashes into the other one. So now they're both kind of on the ground together.
100%. This one's not going to be ensnared in the way the other one is, but it's definitely dislodged from the roof. You see its climbing tentacles already starting to try to like get a purchase up, and they're kind of climbing up trying to grab something, but it is for now on the ground in front of you. Awesome. Okay. So
And that's 2.
say what?
And it's 2 strain for the spell, and nothing extra for doing like the empowered or anything, right?
Correct. So technically, if you had disadvantages in the system, that they each will cost for 2 additional strain if I make you spend it. But spells are going to have crazy side effects if they're rolled. The one thing is if you roll advantages, you can't use those to reclaim the strain from the spell because the spell gets resolved and then the strain happens. But next time you do your spell, if you generate a bunch of advantages, you can basically recover the strain from the prior spell. But it's basically just meant to prevent you from constantly being able to just shell out spell after spell after spell. It's meant to more represent like a mana pool type magic system.
Right. It'll have at least a temporary drain, and you can't just like, oh yeah, I got enough advantage. It doesn't cost me anything.
Yeah, fireball. Oh, this spell was free. Fireball. This spell was free. Exactly. It's always going to cost at least 2 strain.
The first one gets you, and then the rest are free.
Hey, you get that taste. Cool. So all PCs have gone, so the NPCs are going. So you see the one that has arrows sprouting out of it because this is cinematic. So Prang was actually shot at kind of multiple times. I get it's almost like some arrows are sprouting out of the attack arms that had lacked on to Barry. This one is going to be able to reach up to the ceiling and is going to swing at Prang, trying to get revenge. So it's going to take 2 more strain because it's performing an attack. Prang, do you have any kind of defense?
Nope. I have 3 soak.
Okay. So it's just trying to mollywop you with its arms. It's not trying, so it's not going to be an opposed brawl check. So it's just going to be just a normal straight attack. Oof. That one die was almost a great roll. So a failure and 2 advantages. So I think the arrows sprouting out of these kind of attack limbs have made it clumsy as it tries to strike. So I think it's going to end up crashing into the balcony that you are on, dislodging it, making you tumble to the ground. You're not going to take any damage from this fall, but you've lost your height advantage.
Okay.
The one that is trapped, Karlax, how far is the one that's trapped from you?
I mean, I feel like probably close but not engaged.
Got it. Okay. So it's kind of rearing up and it is basically moving its attack limbs in a very defensive manner because you see it's trying to move, but it can't actually get out because the way the rock kind of fallen, it's trapping several of its tentacles. So it's actually not able to attack any of you. It's out of range and it can't move into range. So its action is going to be taking very defensive posturing to make itself harder to hit or engage. And it's one of your guys' turn now.
Barney, you're on the ground.
Yeah, I'm on the
you-
ground. I am free.
If you add an extra target to a spell, that just adds one purple or more than one purple?
It is one. So adding on the multiple targets is one purple.
Can I shoot at two of the tentacles that are trying to gain purchase on the ceiling from that one that is off the ground, that is on the ground but not yet back up in the air?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
And I'm sorry, Hagan, for attack spells, you can't. I don't think you can have multiple targets. You can put the blast quality on it, so it does AOE damage.
Right, but no knowledge lore, so yeah.
Yeah, but other spells are able to, so like shield and augment, sorry, are able to have multiple targets.
Okay.
Augment is probably one of the more powerful spells in the game. So you're gonna pull out your bow and shoot, Barry. Cool. So you are at short range. So that is average difficulty. It is dark, but the lightning has kind of lit up the area a little bit, so you're only going to take one setback.
Okay. And then that one extra difficulty die for targeting two. No?
You can't really call targets like that. And this is a narrative setting, so you're just saying I'm trying to hit these things. And
okay.
Because otherwise people are going to say, I shoot it in the throat, it's dead, right? And it's like, I can't really do that.
You could potentially, if you get enough advantage, say that you loosen its tentacle grip and then have it fall. So it's based on the advantages that you get, essentially.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
And technically, if you double aim, it does something. And I forget the mechanics because I never use it. But so you can take 2 strain to get a second maneuver. And if you do that and you aim twice, then you get to do some weird stuff. But even then, you don't really get to like call a crit. Like they don't let you just like target someone's eyeball. Like that's just so. So it's 2 purple. You have a maneuver, so why don't you aim anyway? So it's going to give you a blue, a black, and then whatever your ranged attack is.
Alrighty, I'll roll that right now. Hey,
money. All right, so 3 successes. Nice. What's your bow's base damage?
Bow's base damage, I believe 7.
Ooh. All right, and I'm sorry, you were aiming at which one? The one that just attacked Prang, or the one that's trapped under a rock? I know you.
The one that just attacked Prang, because the one that just attacked Prang is trying to climb back up into the roof, and we don't want that.
Yeah, it is. Okay, cool. So you're doing 10 damage. All right. You're making me do math. Oof, this thing. We're gonna say you killed it. So you hit the arm. You nail this thing's arms as it's like swinging to go after Prang again, and the tentacles kind of like give out on it, and it crashes to the ground, and some black ink starts seeping out from it.
Its arms are both up, and you got both arms and the head that was between it. So
right, all pinned together.
Hey, guys, technically I hit the arms. Called shot.
The arm to the head and just
love it. Cool. So 1 octopus down. The next one is in a hissing, staring contest with Karlax. Who's going next?
I could do a repeat.
All right.
More lightning.
Cool. So I kind of see Groth like almost like reaching up to touch this like little thunder cloud that's kind of formed over them and is like pulling lightning down into their hands, and they're kind of channeling it out towards this thing.
That sounds good.
So basically re-roll what you did last time.
Yeah. Hopefully a little bit better.
Oh,
very.
Ooh. 1 success, 2 threat, and a triumph. Shit is about to get real. All right. So your lightning explodes out of your hands, curling around itself, flying towards this octopi. What is your triumph?
I gotta think on that one, but the damage is only 4, and so I'm guessing most or all the damage is gonna get soaked.
You did empowered, correct?
Yeah. Oh, that's right. So that would actually
So
be
technically
7.
7. Yeah.
Triumph. Does it only? Does it use all its arms for the climbing, or only like a couple specific ones?
Yeah, so it's got 7 arms. Oh, that's weird. They call it an octopus and they only give it 7 arms.
It's a septopus.
Yeah. It's a Star Wars one, Arboreal Octopus Ambush, and then to give it 7 arms. That seems like it didn't get edited appropriately. So of the 7 limbs, 3 are attack, 4 are climbing. And right now, 2 of the climbing ones are kind of stuck underneath this rock that Karlax like yanked out of the ceiling.
Maybe 2 of the climbing arms get severed.
Yeah. So basically this lightning, so it's kind of like trying to reach 2 climbing arms up to grab onto the ceiling to like pull itself out from under this rock, and the lightning just, cuts them off. Yeah, 100%. Unfortunately, as you kind of pulled this energy in to cast the spell, as soon as you unleashed it, almost this like pulse of energy explodes out around you, and you get the sense that many beings around you are now very aware of your presence and your capabilities.
That's not
Okay.
preferable.
Especially not to Mr. Sneaky over there.
All right, 2 more PC actions.
Go ahead, Karlax.
So I feel like Karlax is just gonna. I mean, I have quick draw, so I can draw the mace that I carry, even though I'd be better off to technically punch it, but other than damage, and just thwack the thing. Where it's kind of pinned and
Yeah, 100%. So it's going to be a mace is going to be melee.
right.
So it's 2 purple. It did take its action for defense, so it's going to be 1 red and 1 purple.
Okay.
But now that it's missing a lot, and it's got a 1 defense for melee, so you're going to have 1 black.
Okay.
You are going to have to use your maneuver to close. So unless you want to take 2 strain, you're not able to gain a boost die on your side of the roll.
What the hell? I'll do that.
Sounds cool. So then you add a boost die.
Yep. All right. So yeah. Okay. Net 1 advantage.
All right. Oh, you know what?
Rolls.
Technically, you wanted to give it when you did your first roll, you used one of your advantages to give it a setback, but
Okay.
then you used your triumph to trap it. So that setback never got used. So I'm going to let you roll an additional boost die right now to make up for that advantage you didn't really get to take advantage of.
Okay. Now I have a net 3 advantage.
Of course you do. You guys have rolled a lot of advantages and not a ton of successes.
That's what I was
Okay.
saying. We've had some very interesting rolls.
I feel like, okay, so how about, I don't manage to damage it, but I manage to kind of like back it up to where it's kind of cornered. So
you kind of like pushed it back from the rock, so its tentacles under the rock, or it's still trapped. But it's
tethered,
it's tethered and can't move back any further.
So I feel like, can that be a like the targeted boost to whoever attacks it next?
Totally, yeah. Prang can definitely get a boost die.
Like I know 2 would normally be to a specific person. In this case, I don't know what to do with the last one.
Group, what do you guys think for the next 2 advantages that he rolled? Any thoughts or ideas?
So he's got 2 left or 1?
2 left. He's basically he's like pushed it back, so now it's kind of tethered, so it can't move as much.
Okay.
So the next person that's shooting at it, which is you, is going to have an extra boost die because it's not able to really maneuver as well.
Can
Oh,
we
yeah.
we say that it's kind of like cornered in such a way where it doesn't get the bonus of its defense?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's for your two advantages. While it stays in this position, it doesn't have its melee defense. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Because a lot of it is its ability to move and use its tentacles, as well as it's dark and can kind of blend into its environment, and you've got it stuck, so it really can't take advantage of those things. All right, Prang.
All right, I'm gonna double aim and shoot it.
All right, I'm glad I told you how to do that. So you've just kind of like slid down some rubble, really cool cat-like, landed on your feet, and
I'm gonna kind of spring off as I'm sliding down. I shoot the first one, and then this one I'm coming at. So it's still 2 difficulty, right? Because it's at short range, right, Ben?
yes.
Okay. I'm gonna roll in
So
Foundry
I
this
think
time.
So I feel like you're doing a round off in the air, shooting at multiple arrows as you're doing cat stuff.
Yep. 4 success, 1 threat, and a triumph.
Oh yeah. So you like slid down, jumped off, feet are above your head, shooting multiple arrows into this thing as Karlax is like pushed it back against and like tethered it. Boom, 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 multiple arrows striking it. So you are doing a 11 damage just right off the bat.
Yep. And I guess I can crit with the triumph, right?
Yes, you can.
All right. Let's see what that does.
Is that no? The other one got critted before.
Slowed down.
What a swing. 98 to an 8.
Yep.
So now it's like pinned to the wall, like poster board style.
Yeah. So so the way I'm reading slow down, if you click on it, it tells you what it is. The way I'm reading this is act on the last initiative next turn. So we are technically moving to the next turn. So I'm reading this as it goes the last, which means that you all get to go again.
Just an FYI, it says I don't have permissions to view that.
Fricky frick. So if you click on it, you can't see it.
Yeah, I get this. You do not have sufficient permissions to view the sheet for this item.
Well, don't you just
That is the one problem with Foundry is, yes, I want to hide stuff from you guys, but at the same time, okay. Anyways, who wants to go first? And spoiler, this thing is not looking very good.
I could try to finish it off, maybe not empower this time.
Yeah. I mean, I could also just shoot the damn thing, too.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I'll do a roll for shooting it.
Touching it funny.
Let's see.
You're even marked as an owner for it. Oh, no, you know what? I gave that to Karlax. Let's try. Here you go, Eric. I now made you an owner. See if you can open it now. So if you click on the slow down, it should pop up and say what it is.
I do not have sufficient permissions to view this sheet for this item.
Let's see.
Where is this pulling from?
Just something where he has to have the actual software installed, maybe.
It shouldn't be. So the problem is it's a generated. It's basically the way Foundry works is Foundry classifies everything that's made into it in different areas, like limited, observer, owner. They even have like assisted GM. And so the conundrum is when I made this, because I built out the whole critical table, and technically, like if one of you guys had a character sheet, you can click and drag this critical onto your character sheet, and it tracks it there for us. So if we roll criticals in the future, it actually already adds that 10 plus 10 for us. But the problem is like some of the items I've generated, these are hidden behind like basically like access rights. And so each of your profiles are designated to a certain level. And if you don't meet the right level, you can't get access to it. But I was having a lot of trouble because I gave Eric ownership of a lot of stuff, but like the way it was foldered, it didn't let him see I don't get it. It's basically what it comes down to.
You're having Steve problems.
Accurate.
Oh no, I have enough RAM. Don't get me wrong. Like
You've been Steved.
Anyways, who wants to finish this thing off?
I thought it
I'll
was
go
Barney.
ahead. Yeah.
Barney was taking a shot at it.
What's the difficulty and such? Just average?
Yeah.
Okay. There we go. 1 success, 1 advantage.
Yeah. How do you kill it?
Since it's just kind of pinned against the wall, I'll just aim for center mass and just boop.
Perfect. Yeah. One arrow just sprouts out of its eye. Black ink kind of slinks down its face, and the area goes quiet. But you all felt that pulse of power that came out of Groth. And you know that anyone in the vicinity of your location is now aware that there is a powerful magic user in this area.
Oh boy.
Oh, we can be sure that we're not
Keep our weapons at the ready, I'd say.
we're not unannounced any longer.
At least we know things are here, and they know we're here, and so can plan accordingly.
And I think you guys are able to exit this tunnel onto this almost like platform underneath this particular ruin. And from here, there's kind of vines and different kind of growth that are connecting you down to multiple different ruins below you. And you have a sense of Prang has a sense of which direction to go. And so you're able to make your way deeper into this what do we call it? Ruins, this debris field of history. And I think we're going to end this session here.
Intro and outro music by the band 12 Noon. You can email us at meandsteverpg@gmail.com. You can find us on Twitter and RPGs. Find us on Facebook at Me and Steve RPG Podcast. On Discord at Me and Steve RPGs. And as always, all of these links are in the show notes. Thank you, and be kind to one another.
How much for the cigar?
Cigar, $20, dog. You gotta go down the street to the store and buy that.